Welcome to Lesson 3 of Learning the Piano. If you're new to learning the piano and you haven't checked out Lesson 1 or 2 yet, I suggest you do so before following this video, as we're going to build on what we've learned in those previous sessions. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about two new musical terms and how we can use them when we play the piano. These two terms being chords and scales. Chords are fairly easy to understand. A chord is simply when you play two or more notes at the same time. So, this is a chord, this is a chord, this is a chord, this is a chord, and this is a chord. Now, obviously there are nice sounding chords and nasty sounding chords, and different types will be used in different situations. Now, in the world of music theory, chords can get quite complicated, so today we are going to keep it as simple as possible, only playing 2 or 3 notes at any given time. As we mentioned in our last lesson, our right hand on the piano usually plays the main part of a piece of music, or the melody, M for main, M for melody, whereas our left hand plays the accompaniment, the supporting part. Chords are often used in the supporting left-hand part and are usually held for more than one crotchet beat to not distract listeners from the more interesting right-hand melody. For example, so let's try play some chords. In our last lesson, we learned what C and G looks like in our left hand. There's our C and there's our G. So, if we want it to be a chord, all we need to do is stack them on top of each other, like this. If it's written like this, it's telling you to play both at the same time for 4 beats, because it's our white note without a stick. That means 4 beats, like this. 2, 3, 4. In music, we call a 4-beat note a semibreve. Let's play this chord a few times together with the 5th and our first fingers of our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice one. Now we're going to change to a D and a G chord. So our G stays in the same place, and we can use our alphabet to figure out where our note D is going to be. So, our G is going to stay in the same place, and the D is just one note up from our C. Let's try playing this D and G chord together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Now, as you might have guessed, we're going to practice swapping between these two chords with our left hand, C and G, to D and G, making sure we're holding them for the correct note length. Let's play that together after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To D and G, 3, back to C and G, 3, 4, D and G. One more time. It might sound obvious, but when you're doing this, make sure your fingers are hovering above the keys you're about to play. Don't just take your hand away once you've played a note or a chord. Keep them at the ready so it's much easier to find your next notes. It's much easier to play like this than it is, because you've got to find where you were before. Alright, now let's look at another chord. This time it's going to be, well, you try and figure it out. If we know where the C, D, and G are, then what are these two notes going to be? Remember, you can just go through the alphabet forwards or backwards each time you swap between a note in a space or with a line going through it. If you thought it was a C and an E, then you were correct. Well done. So, these two notes will sound like this. Let's play them together, just our C and our E after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And our final chord. What is that going to be? I'll give you a moment to figure it out. Yes, it's going to be a C and an F. Let's play them together. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Now, let's try swapping between our third and our fourth chords. This C and the E and our C and the F. Starting on our C and our E after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now for the tricky bit. Let's play all 4 chords back to back. It should sound like this. Pause this video and try practicing them all together by yourself. This is quite difficult and might take a few minutes. Okay, now let's try it together. 4 beats each, very slowly, and we're going to play through twice. After 4. Well done. And one more time, a little bit quicker. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic! You've just played your first chord progression. That is a sequence of repeated chords, and it just so happens this chord progression is the exact same as the one used in our backing track, which is shared with a vast variety of songs, both new and old, such as Country Roads, Don't Stop Believing, Unchained Melody, and Africa by Toto. So, now I want you to try playing this chord progression along with the backing track. Together, it should sound a bit like this. Make sure you're confident playing the chords back to back first before trying along with the backing track, but when you're ready, pause this video and give it a go. Well done! If you've made it this far, you're making great progress and you'll be able to start playing your favourite songs in no time. The second part of this lesson is going to look at another core musical concept known as scales. Here's an example of one. Now, scales are a very useful thing in music, as many songs and pieces are built on them. If you've played up and down on the white notes on the piano like this before, then you've been playing part of a scale, even if you've only been doing a few of them. Today, we're going to play one, and it's called a C major scale. This word here, major, describes the overarching sound of a scale. And the simplest way to think of it is that a major scale is happy or jolly sounding. It's not always the case, but for now, think of major as happy sounding. The C part of the name C major scale simply tells us that we're going to be starting and ending on our note C. So if I'm playing a C major scale here, I start on C, playing all the white notes up until I get to the next C. And then I come back down, playing all the white notes until I get back to C. Here's what a C major scale looks like in sheet music. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, but Andrew, I've only got 5 fingers. How am I supposed to play all of these notes? Here's the trick, and I'll show you one note at a time. Let's find a C with our right hand thumb, or our first finger. Next, we have our second finger, D, and our third finger on E. Now we come to the tricky part. We want to move our thumb underneath our third finger. Now, when you do this, try not to lift your elbow in the air like this. It's bad technique, and when you start to play more quickly, moving your elbow in the air will make the notes sound disconnected. For example, if I move my elbow in the air, there's a little bit of a gap between our E and our F. However, if you move it very nice and smoothly, it should sound a bit more smooth. Back to the scale. Once again, C, D, E, then your thumb goes underneath the third finger, then F, G, A, B, C. Because remember, after G, instead of going H, I, J, K, you just go back to A. So there we are. Let's try playing that one more time together on the way up. C, D, E, thumb underneath, G, A, B, and C. And to get back down, we're going to be using the exact same pattern, starting with our fifth finger on C, B, A, G, F with our thumb, but this time our third finger is going over the top. Again, make sure you don't stick out your elbow. Third finger over the top onto E, then to our D, and finally our C. Okay, let's practice that together using our 1-beat notes, so a little bit quicker than we were just doing there, starting off nice and steady after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. Now we have a new skill we can use when learning new music and for when we're improvising. On to our final exercises. First, I want you to try playing our new C major scale in time with our left-hand chord progression we learned earlier. Practice it really slowly at first, as I'm sure you know playing with both hands at the same time can be very difficult, but it should sound something like this. Once you can do it really slowly, gradually begin to increase the speed, but make sure all the notes are evenly spaced. There's no point being able to play some parts fast and other parts slow, because it'll sound very messy, something like this. It sounds very untidy, and we want everything to be nice and evenly spaced. One thing we've added right at the end that you may have noticed is we have a white note with a stick attached to it. And the only reason we've added that is because we have 4 beats in each bar, as we had earlier. And there we only had 3 crotchet beats, so we've changed our low C there into a 2-beat note. So a 2-beat note is just a white blob with a stick. So that final bar sounds like this. 1, 2. Other than that, it's exactly the same as it was before. Now, pause this video and give it a try. If you've managed that, I want you to try the same thing, but this time with the backing track. This will really test your confidence with both of your hands playing together. So, I suggest, if you try this and find it too hard, go back to one of the earlier exercises and build your confidence on each hand separately first. This is what it should sound like, both hands together. Moving on to our final exercise. This time I want you to try improvising with your right hand by yourself or with the backing track whilst playing our left hand chord progression. But this time, try to use our new C major scale at points, and in fact you can use any of the white notes on the piano. So you have a lot of freedom available to you, My advice is play cautiously at first and not just jump about all over the piano, because it can be very confusing and rarely sounds as good. Alternatively, if you're keeping some notes close together and some further apart, it could sound a bit better. I think you'll agree that second, more controlled one sounded better, but pause the video and try it yourself. Alright, and that concludes our beginner course for learning to play the piano. Once again, we've covered a lot this lesson. We've learned what chords are and how to play them. We've learned the right way to play a C major scale, and we've covered how we can use both together when improvising or reading sheet music. In our previous sessions, we've also addressed how to improvise with our right hand, how to read simple music notation, and how to play simple musical phrases with both hands together. Of course, these lessons are not comprehensive. They won't allow you to go and play every piece or song you want to, but they should provide a strong foundation for beginning to learn some of your favourite pieces. If you've watched all the beginner videos, including those about the different note lengths and my reading the notes videos, then you should be able to tackle the first 2 or 3 versions of most of the songs that are available for free on my website store. Once again, thank you for joining me on this short introduction to the piano. If you've got any video ideas for other aspects of the instrument that you'd like to learn, or any piano-based questions or queries about getting piano lessons, then please visit the Andrew Music website and get in touch. Thank you and take care.